To you, the British public, I know that there will be many people who are relieved and perhaps quite a few who will also be disappointed. And I want you to know how sad I am to be giving up the best job in the world.
That right there, Boris Johnson resigning from his post as prime minister after months of scandal just a little while ago. For more reaction, let's bring in attorney and Republican strategist Aaron Elmore and radio host and Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps. Aaron, I'll start with you. Just your reaction to him resigning. As of yesterday, he said, no way, I'm not doing it. But quickly things changed.
Very rapid changes across the pond. And, we've seen the largest conservative majority in Britain in 30 years. So the big question now is, where do they go as a nation? What does that country look like? And we heard your correspondent speak about some of the possible options. Luckily, most of them are conservative. But the problem with Boris, I think that he had, was that during the lockdowns, the country was at home grieving and struggling with all of the restrictions of the coronavirus, and he was seen out partying. Additionally, there was a bit of a sex scandal. So the pressure became too much, and there was no option to resign because many of his top cabinet members said, enough is enough, we are leaving. So really his feet were held to the fire, and I think the biggest takeaway is you've got to do your job. You don't say, do as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. You have to lead the way that you want the people of your country to behave, and hopefully they remain a conservative nation. And we got to see where we go from here, because everyone has so many questions, so few answers, and we're all watching at home, just like you are in the studio, hoping for the best for Great Britain.
Absolutely. Chris, your thoughts? What does you think this does? Because Boris Johnson had a good relationship with former President Trump and a decent relationship with our current president. What does this mean for relations with the U.S.?
Well, I think the relationship between Great Britain and the United States is strong. It will always be strong. We are historic allies. The handwriting was on the wall for Boris Johnson the last few weeks and months regarding his tenure as the prime minister. We have a lot of problems in this country with our president and the scandals that are swirling around him. I understand that the British people were upset because he was having parties at number 10 Downing Street when the rest of the country was locked down. But it seems like a bit much to replace him. Maybe this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And I got to tell you, I admire Boris Johnson. Any politician, any world leader who gets up every morning and does TV and doesn't comb his hair and doesn't care about that, you have to admire a guy like that.
We were talking about that over the break.
He's like the 24/7 party person. All right, let's bring it back to this side of the pond now. President Biden was in Ohio yesterday saying the economy is in a strong place at the moment, but he did say the Trump administration is to blame for job losses. My goodness, let's take a listen.
Previous administration lost more jobs in its watch than any administration since Herbert Hoover. That's a fact. All based on failed trickle-down economics that benefit the wealthiest Americans and hit the middle class and working people the hardest.
All right, so we're seeing Biden's blame game. Reminds me of the song The Name Game. I can't get it out of my head. But anyway, Aaron, so the president says his economic plan benefited the rich and hurt the middle class. Now, isn't President Biden hurting all of America right now with this high inflation that he continues to blame on Vladimir Putin and the gas stations and the oil companies, and the list goes on and on?
Every American, right, left, and center, is feeling the pain, no matter your socioeconomic status. The problems in this country, when you go to the gas station, you have sticker shock. When you go to the grocery store, you just can't believe the astronomical prices that you're paying. And the problem is no one is believing Joe Biden. I'm going to read from the recent Harvard-Harris poll. 60% of Americans doubt Joe Biden's ability to serve. So he can talk about facts. That is a real fact. 71% do not want to see Biden have a second term, and 30% of Democrats do not want him to be the nominee. So what does this tell you? See, there again, with the statistics and the polling up there, doubt about fitness, 60%. These numbers are staggering. So whether he blames his lovely alliteration of the Putin price tag or Donald Trump, No one believes it when they go to the gas station or the grocery store. When parents look at what their children are learning at school, they certainly don't believe the lies either. We just want our children to be able to have a country where they learn math and reading and science. We want a country where we feel comfortable paying the prices that we see in the stores. And right now, his lies aren't cutting it.
Yeah, you wonder if those numbers are going to go up, especially with Democrats. Chris, even the left-wing media is covering the way Democrats are viewing the Biden administration right now. Take a listen.
One member of Congress calls the White House rudderless, aimless, and hopeless. The call is coming from within the caucus. I mean, these are Democrats telling you these things. What are they saying?
Well, John, that's right. Like, there's a lot of frustration that they want more action out of President Biden.
Chris, there's two Democrats who weren't there yesterday when the president was speaking. Tim Ryan, who's running for Senate, and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Nan Whaley. So two Democrats aren't there. The president is in your city, in your state, and you have conflicting schedules. What does this mean for the future of the country right now if we're using the word hopeless and Democrats aren't even supporting our president?
Yeah, I think what this hope, the good hopes for the country is this means that the Democrats are on their way out. Joe Biden is at a 30% approval rating in some polling. I think that's the reason why you see some Democrats that are not appearing with him at campaign rallies. And I think that's also why you're seeing the mainstream media now that is starting to pile on and to start criticizing this president.
All right, we are out of time, but wow, so many things to talk about it. We got to get you guys back again. Great conversation today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.